Recording now.
Alright, bet.
Live.
You think I was scoot up a little bit? I think it's a bit.
You move up a little bit, yeah.
I think that might be perfect.
Yeah.
That might be
Right
perfect.
there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Alright. So we're just doing a soft open. So there's nothing, we're not gonna go crazy with it.
Okay.
We look good over there?
I think it's good.
Alright. For my editing's sake. Alright. Alright, man. Thank you for sitting down with us, SB. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
So we're just gonna jump straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you from the city or where are you from?
So I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Me and my mom, we ended up leaving when I was like 3, moved to California. And from there from California, I also lived in Atlanta. And that's like my second home. So I go back and forth between Louisville and Atlanta a lot. And then I also lived in Hawaii and Guam. It was a military family.
I was about to ask. Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
So, where do you find your love of music from? Like, what age range was that in Louisville, Atlanta, Guam?
I grew up around my mom predominantly. That's who was in my life, who raised me, and I think she really. I think she's the one who really, helped facilitate my passion for music, and we good?
No, you're good. You're good.
So I think my mom's the one who facilitated my passion for music, and just growing up around her, she always had me listening to anything from old school hip hop to alternative rock, and everything in between. Like Sade, fucking Michael Jackson, just all types of different shit. But she's definitely the person that helped facilitate my passion for music.
All right. So while you were in Louisville, what school did you go to here?
So when I was in Louisville, I went to Eastern High School.
Oh, damn.
Hated that place.
As you should.
Do not fuck with Eastern. Hated it so much that it ended up like I was gonna get kicked out regardless. They were like pretty much like about to tell me that I had to go to Wagner, and I was not trying to go to Wagner either.
That's
Anybody
scary.
from the Ville knows. Like I was not trying to go there. So ended up me and my pops, like we have a very disconnected, discombobulated, whatever you want to call it, relationship. And me and my mom were bumping heads at the time. I'm like 17, 18 at this time, so I'm turning into a man. There's shit me and my mom, she can't teach me, and my pops, him and I ended up talking and kind of squashing the past and shit. And he was just like, I'm in Atlanta, why don't you come out here? And I was playing football at the time, so he put me onto a couple teams and shit. They watched some of my film and shit, got me recruited out there, and ended up playing football out there and finishing off high school in Atlanta.
What position were you playing out there?
So I started off as a wide receiver, and then I ended up moving to corner, and then eventually I started safety.
So you were working. This man was hidden. Oh my god.
Yeah. Shout out Atlanta. They got me swole as fuck. I went to Central Gwinnett, by the way. Central Gwinnett High School.
Man,
Shout out Central.
serious.
Changed my life. I made up for all the 3 years at Eastern.
So there in Atlanta, was that when you started dabbling in music? Or was there time in between high school and starting to get creative?
So I've always kind of had music around me. Like I've always even when I was 14, had people around me that were rapping and stuff, but I wasn't into it. I was into fucking football, skateboarding. I forgot people don't know about that. I grew up skateboarding and surfing. Those were my two. And I moved to Kentucky. I had to play football and shit, but I grew up skateboarding and surfing. So my bad, I'm ADHD as fuck. What was the question? What was the question?
When did you start getting creative?
When did I start getting creative? I feel like I started getting creative probably with music, taking it seriously, like 18, 19.
So that's like towards the end of high school, and then you started doing it.
End of
that
high
way.
school. So funny story is like me and my pops, we ended up falling out while I was there. Got kicked out and shit. He sent me back on a Greyhound bus. I was pissed. Needless to say, ended up doing a whole bunch of fuck shit for like a couple years. Ended up getting felonies out the situation. So I got stuck in Kentucky, couldn't go nowhere, and started working at Outback Steakhouse. Met somebody there who was a rapper, and he put me on game to like Mixcraft and all the the early shit and the home studio vibe and all that. And he I did that for like a year or two with the big homie. Shout out Daryl, and ended up just kind of transitioning into like we figured out what we needed and started piecing together our own home studio, and then that's where we started recording our own tracks, and that's how I got the basis of the foundation of my skill set that I have now, was all those years in the home studio setting and shit, and just cooking up with the guys and shit. Did that for like 6 years, and then ended up here at 400 recording.
So you're talking about rapping, doing the home studio, transition into this lane.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you go from like being in front of the mic to being behind the mic? What was that transition like?
For real, the ego behind the shit, like behind being an artist and shit, like I used to want to be an artist, very much so, and then I realized I just want to express myself. I don't want to do shows. I'm not trying to do tours. I'm not trying to have people in my face. I'd rather help support the person who wants to do all that, help put them in the spotlight, and me just be behind the scenes. And I battled with that imposter syndrome for a while, and like even when I first came here as an intern, like my whole idea was like I'm gonna learn how to record myself and become one of the best artists in the city. Well, ended up doing that and falling in love with engineering in the process, and seeing the service that I'm providing for other people and what I'm doing for the community, and it just kind of like faded that need for me to feel like heard. Like even when I make songs to this day, I still record and shit because I like to keep the blade sharp, but I don't need the validation. I don't need to be told that I'm good or that this is that or anything. So when that went away, I won't say I lost the motivation to record, but the motivation wasn't there, like I said, to be heard as much. So now when I'm doing songs and shit, it's purely just because I'm just got an idea, I want to lay it down. I might even give it to another artist, or I might just, that's the lane I'm trying to go in, is like more of a producer role.
Like a Pharrell type thing.
Yeah, just, you feel me? Like I can hop in the booth, but really I want to be able to, I'm even trying to learn how to make beats and shit now, because I feel like that's going to help increase my value to my clients. And, that's my whole everything. That's my whole mantra, is like, that's what helped me heal. Is like, how can I provide value to other people? I was waking up for so many years feeling like shit, feeling worthless, and ended up coming here and in the process learned that shit, I just wasn't doing enough for other people. I was being selfish, you feel me? And yeah, just, I don't want to be selfish no more. I want to share it, and I want to spread the love and help people, you know what I'm saying? So I think this role helps with that a lot more than just being an artist.
And what you do is a service. Like, when I was listening to Dev's songs, when I did his interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge step up from before he took that break to now, in the way that it sounds professional. And that even is able to package himself differently, put his shit on the internet, put it on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and now he's able to move differently just off the product alone. So that's something I definitely see changing, even on like an artist level, and then especially with the names you work with, and it growing. It's gonna be something special when you have a community behind you.
For sure.
That's what this role is. You're doing it. You're doing it for sure. So we were talking about you getting into music, home studio. When did Sad Boy, when the SB come to?
Sad Boy from the South came about in this whole process of me becoming an intern at 400 and really figuring out what I wanted to do and finding myself. And in that process, Sad Boy from the South was born, because I needed a brand. I want to make merch and stuff like that, and just different things. And I've always been a very melancholy, very negative not negative like mindset, but I can just be a very negative emotionally person. So Sad Boy was always it was kind of like a nice fit, and then I'm from the South, so my roots are in the South, so it was just kind of hand in hand. But yeah, that was Sad Boy from the South was definitely born probably a year into my career at 400.
So, I was looking at your page and I saw Sad Boy Misfit. Is there, was that you or was that different, some part of the brand y'all team?
The Sad Boy Misfit was just like a username type of thing.
Username?
Yeah, it was just like a dope username. And then like I just kind of wanted to embrace my brand more and not really have any confusion with anything. So I just kind of dropped the Sad Boy Misfit and just kept it Sad Boy from the South.
And then so shout out to the producer over here. He made a good note. You were talking about your ego and like having to basically step back and be like, I can be less selfish and move forward with helping out the community. How's you checking your ego in ways help with your creative process, and what was it like before and afterwards?
So I feel like my music before was very insecure. The takes they were shaky. There was like, I was peacocking in a sense. Like I was wearing this mask, this fake confidence, this fake like I know myself, but really I didn't know myself. And psychedelics is a big aspect in my life. And whenever I'm feeling lost, I like to trip. So one of my trips, I just realized like my ego is a problem, bro. Like I'm feeling the need to be validated because I'm not working hard enough. I don't have nothing to show for these years I've spent in this realm, this earth, and it was really making me insecure, and I got tired of being insecure, and I was just like, how can I fix this insecurity? The answer was just work harder. It was work harder and be yourself, be authentic, and be happy for other people. Like I used to be a very jealous, very like couldn't nobody have shit around me that I didn't have, and I had to be the best in the room, and I had to be this like. It was just hard to be around me, bro. And then like I just would look around one day when there was no more drugs or money, and because that's pretty much all I did before music was I just worked 2 jobs, trap, and I would just get high, and that was it. I had no purpose, no nothing, and was just a menace to society for real. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are dealing with. I've noticed on speaking on the ego aspect, is just it's hard to turn that shit off. So I feel like my music now is more authentic, is real, people feel it. The shit that I'm saying is real. I honestly like making music for me is such an intimate process, bro. I don't even like doing features for real. Like somebody could offer me $1,000 to do a feature. If it don't mean something to me, I'm not doing it. Like I can't be bought. You know what I mean? And I discover shit about myself, bro. Like when I'm sitting there recording, shit gets so raw and intimate, and you really get in that zone. You'll say some shit or I'll write some shit, and I'll be like, damn, bro, I didn't even know you felt like that. Like sitting with myself, like I didn't really know I felt like that. Like, and it's a healing process, just sitting there being your own therapist, for real. It really is.
So you moving from a stage of, all right, I need to get out of my own ego, and creating this situation, this atmosphere for yourself. How do you go about it for other artists? How would you create that environment for another artist coming to your sessions?
Like as far as like checking the ego, or like helping them out with
helping them out, being that supportive role.
Okay, so really it starts with the artist. Like I gotta see where they're willing to meet me at. So if I can see that they even want help or are coachable, I'll provide input. And and usually it won't be the first session, but it'll probably be like the second, third, fourth, something like that down the road. After we got a couple sessions in, and we got some hours with each other and shit. But I'm very blunt, and I'm very honest with people. And when somebody comes in the door and they're like, we gonna make this song, and this is gonna be the one, big bruh. We gonna take you with us. You coming with us? You know what I'm saying? Like that shit, I check at the door, cause it's like you don't even understand what it takes, bro, to get to that point. You coming in the studio booking an hour isn't gonna fucking make you famous. And so the biggest thing for me is like, if you want to be fed lies and you want somebody to make you feel like you're gonna blow up within a couple songs, I'm probably not the engineer for you or the producer for you. You probably need to go work with somebody else, because I'm just gonna tell you I don't want your money for real. And yeah, it's just like there's a lot of people that just think they understand what it takes, and I think what I do is I help put you and ground you in reality. But I don't just ground you in reality and shut your dreams down. I tell you this is gonna be fucking hard, and this shit's gonna be damn. You gonna want to fucking quit multiple times. But I'm also gonna help you create strategies to help facilitate your growth and facilitate, you know, towards giving you the best probability at making it. You know, whatever that may be for that artist. So it's all about just gauging where I think this artist can take it, and figuring out what strategies are gonna best help them based on their behaviors, whatever they're dealing with in their life, baby mama problems, what, you know, financial issues. If money's the problem keeping you from the booth, well, all you got to do is sit down with me and tell me what the budget is and what the bills are, because I'm gonna really sit down with you and tell you how much money you really blowing on bullshit. Because I do that with myself. I sit there and look at my bank statements and shit and got to be like, did I really need to get coffee 6 times at Honey Brothers that day? Fuck. You know what I'm saying? You think you don't have the money to do this, that, and another, but really you just not budgeting. So I feel like I'm that liaison of like, you're not being realistic. Let me help you be realistic. And here's a game plan to where you can be in this more realistic realm and still find success.
So it's more than mixing with you. You come in here, we talk about life, we get in the session going.
There's times people come pay me for a session, bro, and we don't even fucking make music for like 30 minutes. They'll book me for like 2 hours, and we end up fucking talking majority of the session, bro, because it's like, I realized with this shit really quickly, bro. You some people's therapist. Like, this shit's a lot deeper than just like recording people, bro. Like, people work, like, and I've worked multiple jobs and shit before I was self-employed, so I know how it feels, bro, to slave them hours away for the bills and shit. But these artists really work, and, you know, it's not cheap to work with me. It's $60 an hour. So when somebody's paying me $120 or whatever, I look at that money like that's just fucking precious. This is somebody's fucking time, bro. So I gotta provide them. I'm not just hitting the fucking record button and making you sound good. We gonna talk about what might get you further in life. All that shit. We gonna really get to know each other, and you know what I'm saying. A lot of us we feel like family, for real. Me and my clients, we feel like family.
For sure.